I think we started by undertaking a major effort internally to change our mindset. I think you are right that UN, is fairly bureaucratic, right? And we have been operating in a certain way for 50 years, right? And to be innovative, our mindset has to change. We have to not see ourselves as a donor, right? As some agency that people come, for help, right? And we undertook a major effort internally to debate and discuss, what kind of, relevance do we have in today's world, in today's Asia Pacific, and that generated a lot of soul searching, right? So we realized that we have to position ourselves as a value-added, but a trusted partner of our governments, and as a service provider to our governments. If we cannot provide useful services to our governments, we're irrelevant. So that's, I think, a major mindset change that we have undertaken. It was quite difficult, I would say. It took us 3-4 years to, I think, achieve a reasonable level of mindset change. But one example I give you now is that during the last 2-3 years, we undertook a major change to drive the agenda of government, co-financing, right? UNDP is not a source of funding. Our governments have a lot more money than we do, right? So one premise we put forward to our governments is that, okay, in the past, we funded all development projects as grants, right? But today, when we cannot do that, right? If you believe that there's something that we really should do together, okay, right? If you really think that there's something we can do to add value to your development objectives, maybe we can co-finance this, right? We can co-finance this. So our relationship is not a donor and recipient. In fact, we're collaborators, right? We're co-creators. And this is the agenda we've been driving for the last 3-4 years. As a result is very impressive, I would say, okay. 4 years ago, when I assumed my position as regional director of UNDP for Asia Pacific, we had 4 countries in Asia Pacific that co-financed our projects. Today we have 20 countries, right? So that means this mindset change among ourselves, but also among our governments, has taken hold. So that, I think, is very positive. Another good example, I think, is that over the last 2-3 years, we undertook internal contest in order to achieve the goal of transforming ourselves from a donor to a development service provider, right? We ran an internal ideas contest. Over 50% of our staff across the board, right, in all our country offices participated and contributed ideas. So that is very powerful. We have about 3,500 staff across Asia Pacific in all our 36 countries, right? So 1,800 of them, right, joined this effort. That's speaks to the kind of mindset change that we have undergone. So this is how we did it, sort of, right? One thing we did based on this contest is that we asked our country office staff, okay, across board to vote for the ideas, and the winners will get funding to implement the ideas. Okay, right? So it's not just empty discussions. We put money where our mouth is, so to speak. And in this particular case, our office in Bhutan came up with a winning proposal that is, in fact, to work with the government of Bhutan to promote the idea of co-financing. So we funded that proposal, right? And this kind of proposal was replicated in a number of offices. And some of the innovations that came out of this the last few years, has a strong focus of scaling and replication, right? Because innovation is easy to achieve if it is just a pilot or a prototype. Okay, innovation is difficult if we want to apply the innovation at scale to achieve impact on development on the ground. But that's the kind of innovation we really after.